Okay, everyone, we're gonna get started. Thank you so much for being here. Actually, special extra thanks for Renata, Emil, and all her wonderful family and friends. They are traveling from Mexico City. I feel so honored that you did this. It's really special to me to have you all here, and also for our customers and friends. That is nice to see you again. But it's a really great privilege to have Renata. Renata has been part of the gallery as a gallery artist for quite a while, and we had an interview online once, because of course, we are in different countries, and I was very much impressed, not only with her talent, which is evident, but also with her talent as a human being. And usually for my gallery, people know that it's not just about the art, it's also about the artist. For me, it's a very important choice for me to choose people that I wish to have in my life, but also that I believe in as artists and as people. And Renata certainly is 100% represents that. I remember very clearly when she told me about experiences with gallerists in other countries, in other cities, and what she really wanted to do with her own career, where she really wanted to pursue. And I felt, well, it would be a privilege for me to be part of that journey if I can help you go where you want to go. Instead of me trying to drive you, I really like to work with the artists. They drive me more than vice versa. I really love to see what they're capable of doing with their talent, their intelligence, and their curiosity when they're given an opportunity. And so she is incredibly talented, obviously. I think the work speaks for itself. But also really I think there's something about Renata's work that is very meaningful to me, because it gives you as a curator an opportunity also to think a little bit out of the box. There is a lot of symbolism. I love art with symbolism. There's a lot of stories and also a lot of integrity in the work. As you see in her talk, she will talk about it. There's a lot of integrity, a lot of thinking. There's nothing that is a coincidence, and there is a lot of thought process that goes in her work. And I think it's something that is very admirable, and I feel very honored to be part of, although in a small way. And so without saying much more, I just wanted to thank you for being here, Renata, for being in my gallery. And I'm very excited to hear about your talk. So it's all yours.
Thank you, Larry.
Oh, of course.
Well, thank you all for being here. Well, I will talk a little about my collection, but I wanted to say first, English is not my main language, so I may ask for a little patience if I forget one or two words. That's it. Okay, so, well, the collection is called Celtae Arboreum. It's inspired in this tradition. It's called the O1. So it's like a really ancient alphabet. Celtic people used to write in this, and it resembles trees. So each letter would be a tree, and it comes. The thing is, these little lines are in this main line. So each represents a letter. These are a few of the ancient stones that we have still alive. So in here you can read the O1. So there's people that can actually read the O1 nowadays. Very few. Actually, yesterday there was a lady from Ireland, and she told me she reads the O1, and I was like, what? And she saw these stones, and she said they were great. I haven't seen them live. Wish to, but okay. So we have for them it was only 20 trees. The language has developed over time. So nowadays, like we have more letters. Each tree, some of them represent like 3 or 4 letters, and some trees have only 1 letter. So it was this alphabet, but it was also an oracular system. So there were like wisdom people that could read you the O1. So they have like these little branches with the symbols that I showed you on them, and each tree has like this symbolic message. So you would ask a question and you would get a tree, and you would say like, okay, maybe I can resolve this way. Resembling a tarot. It's very similar to what we think of tarot. Well, I had this amazing workshop with Mar. She's Mar. She has this beautiful project called Mexican Surrealist. She makes a lot of medicines with plants. She's a herbalist, and she studied the OWAM directly from someone in England. So she gathered all of this wisdom and then she shared it in Mexico. So we are all very grateful with her. She's really generous with what she does. Okay, well, that is like the basis for what you are seeing in the drawings and paintings. So my goal was to translate each tree into a drawing and a painting. Each tree has like this complex message, so it gives you a lot of information. So that's why I thought of 2 pieces per tree, so they could like complement, because having only one piece was like, oh, what do I choose from all of this? Well, when I create a collection, I like to set some rules for my game. Like I feel that it helps me to, I don't know, play better with my creative flow. So in this case, the first rule was the morphology of the tree. So for each piece, I would use something of the tree, maybe the bark, maybe the leaves, maybe the roots. So in all of them, you can see some part of the tree they are representing. And well, what I said, it's one drawing and one painting. And in this collection is the first time I do this. I had all the pieces come from human references. So these 3 models came to my workshop to do the pictures to work with. So we have Vanessa Montoya, who is Betula. Then we have Tatiana, or La Bruja Roja, who is, she's representing Rowan and Alder. And Ekaterina, she's from Ukraine and lives in Mexico. She's representing Ash and, I forgot the other name, the 4th tree, Willow. Okay, so the tree grove, that is, how is it called, the 20 trees, the family tree. It is divided in 4 families. Each family has 5 trees. So my goal for this show was to have the first Eichmann represented. Each Eichmann has like this symbolic meaning too. So this Eichmann means the beginnings. So it's like the set of tools that trees think you should have when you are doing beginnings in life. Okay, so we have the first one, Betula. So Betula means that you have your energy life flowing for being ready to start. So in this one, what we can see is the woman is having this part of teapots in her arms. So she's the beginning of water, and the water is circling through. So you have like this fountain made of teapots. I thought it as a wishing well. So when you are flowing, you wish something for life, and maybe it evolves. Like water, so it goes into the underworld and then comes back again into the world. For Betula, we also have clarity. So in this, sorry, I forgot to do this. This tree has, if you see in the bark, it has like these eyes. I love that. So she has them in her body, in the textile. She has all of these eyes. Then we have the drawing of Betula. So it also represents clarity. So when you are starting something, you have to get something like very, I don't know, like the quality of feathers, that is earth, into the world that is way more earthy. So she has this feather that is going into her hand. It begins to turn into a sphere, to have this big sphere. And she's also coronated with bones. She has this little skull hanging. And in her hair, she has the vertebrae.
Vertebrae.
The vertebra. She's coronated with vertebrae. So I do feel like bones are like clarity. It is what stays. So you need them to begin. Okay, then we have the Rowan. So the Rowan, the meaning it gives you, it's a sacred protection. And it usually pairs with ravens. So in this one, the ravens are holding up the fruit of the Rowan, and they are creating like this energetic shield around her. It's made with aluminum powder. You see it in the original. And it's also, I also wanted to tribute this piece to La Virgen de Guadalupe, to Holy Mother. So normally La Virgen, she's portrayed with a moon underneath of her. It's a very important image in Mexico. So in here I wanted to have like this resemblance to the moon, but also with the water quality. Like it said that the Virgin evolved from a water nymph of the Aztecs. Like they merged those two images. So I wanted to kind of tribute this one to her. And the morphology of the tree that we can see, it's all of the leaves are in her hair. And she has also these turquoise eyes. They are normally a symbol for protection. So also wanted to have this inside. Another message the Rowan can give is the ability to see past false illusions. That's why it is paired up with the raven, because like they fly high, they could help you see further away. So in this piece, what I wanted to communicate is she's having the feathers and the hands in her heart, and she's coronated by the raven. So all of the eyes in the raven feathers can give all of this information for her heart, like resembling the heart visionary. Well, now we are going with Alder. So Alder could tell you about having a courageous heart. You know? So it gives you the energy to do a jump. So in this one, we are having like this threshold. So she enters, she goes through the heart, like when you start like a new adventure or like the hero's journey, it always gives you back something in the heart. So she has come forward, and she has in her hand this eye of wisdom. So she has gained something. And I really don't know if it's the fruit of the tree, but these little fruits, I put them on the top of the doors, so it could create like this arrangement and hold them together. And well, for the drawing, also the message that the Alder gives you is that it's important for you to have your heart healed for making new stuff. So she's holding up with all of these set of hands, like this sphere. I wanted to assemble jewelry, like to say it's something beautiful, and in the center it's the heart. And well, she's coronated by the leaves of the altar. Well, now we have the willow. This is my favorite tree in the world, so it was very special to me to create. Well, so the willow is known to be the tree of the poets. So what it invites you to do is to listen to your dreams. So in this one, we have the different stages of the moon being reflected into these bases. They contain the water, and the water is transforming into these keys. So we have the 3 keys to open up the tree and to listen to it. And yesterday, Dani told me something really beautiful, that she thought the labyrinth on the bottom, it looks like an ear. And I didn't think it that way, but I loved it. It was like, oh yes, you are right. For me, the labyrinth, it is a mirror with the one holding up. So if you knew how to see, you could walk the labyrinth if you see like up in the tree. Okay. Well, the willow also invites you to connect with your female ancestors. So in this one, I wanted to pair up the women with the female reproductive system. So in their hats, we see this flower, or the fallopius trompa. Well, then they have their ovaries in the breasts, the uterus in the textile, and it's all held up by the pelvis. And the 5th tree, it's ash. It's called the Axis Mundi. So Axis Mundi is an image that appears in a lot of cultures, And what it means is this thing that can connect the upper world with the bottom world. It is normally a tree. It changes from culture to culture. So you have also the one in the Nordic tradition. I think it's one of the best known. Is the glacier. So Odin and all the gods lit up, and well, it's really beautiful because it makes normally the circle. In this tradition, it is the ash tree. And it was quite special because, when I studied this, I started looking at all the trees and recognizing them. So Mexico City is full of ash. it was wonderful to see. So this one, I had like a lot of references to paint the ash. And well, what we are seeing in the painting is she's being the axis mundi. With this line full of leaves, she's connecting the upper labyrinth with the bottom labyrinth. It also means that your heart, mind, heart, and soul are connected. So you also are an axis mundi. And the drawing, ash is also like recognizing your place in the world. There's this beautiful image in ancient goddesses when they are called the weavers. So if you knew how to weave, you knew where is your place in the world. It's related to the spider. So this one has 8 ribbons and then all the decoration. So she's also kind of a weaver, and it asks you if you are honoring or if you are doing what you're supposed to do. So well, one final thing is my final mission of the collection is to have all the 20 trees and build up an oracle. So you can throw the cards and you can have the messages of the trees without needing to read all one, because not everyone knows how to read tree branches, so it's kind of making it more accessible. Yeah. And my final acknowledgements, first I would like to start with David. I will cry because I cry a lot. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you.
My grandparents, they were my canvas sponsors, so they are coming with us today. And Emil, he's been all the way. So thank you so much. My wonderful company.
Thank you. Okay. I didn't see that one coming. You got me by surprise there for a moment. Thank you. Okay. If I thought this could not become any more special, but there you go. It has become even more special now. Okay, so thank you so much. Are you okay if people have questions for you? Yes? Questions, comments? Yes?
I noticed I forget her name, maybe it was Fatma. I noticed she had 4 arms. And I know in some traditions, an arm is considered a competency. Like for instance, in the Hindu mythologies, a lot of times someone is portrayed with multiple arms, and it means she will be multiply competent. I was wondering if that is the same in the way that you've done it and the other traditions that you've studied.
What I wanted to do is resemblance the tree, so it could have like more branches. And I love Hindu art, so I am trying to approach it. Also from an anatomy point of view, it's very interesting to mix up the body. So it was kind of like now you can do it, you can mix anatomy, So it's kind of trying to break the rules and make interesting pieces in terms of anatomy. So yeah, it's kind of a search for them.
Thank you. I thought she looked so natural with her 4 arms. It's just really so good.
Thank you so much. It was like 4 sketches to go. So.
Any other question? Yes?
Question. Yes. It's beautiful work. Thank you for sharing it. In many cultures, trees have a significance, especially back to time immemorial, and in indigenous communities especially, for not only their visual, but for the herbs and the medicine. And does that weave into the alphabet in some way?
Well, yes, the Celtic tradition, they had druids, and for druids, nature is sacred. So yeah, I feel this like this very intimate communication with nature all the time, and to understand it and honor it back, you know. And it's also part of the purpose. Like I feel, if we understand like they are alive and sacred, then all of us would be more concerned with protecting them.
Yes.
And it has been beautiful because I don't know, Oregon it's really green. Portland it's been great that way. So it was like it made a lot of sense to come and present all of this here. It was like, oh yeah, it's totally a tree, a tree place. So
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Are there a lot of these trees around where you live in Mexico?
Actually, no. A lot of them are European because Celtic people were there. Some of them do. A lot of them don't. For example, I thought I saw an alder yesterday in the Japanese garden. The leaf looked a lot alike. So maybe here more. I haven't seen them all live. Some of them, we have willows and we have ashes for sure. The others, I kind of went into internet. For example, betula, I am sure there aren't in Mexico City. So maybe I will have to travel and see betula live. I would love to. Yeah.
There are many betulas here.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, they're beautiful.
I will write it.
Yes, yes. I try to remember where I can. Yeah. Any question or comment? I have. Oh.
That's my
Ah.
favorite.
Which one? Yeah.
Willow, but it was before, so it's like it only became more special, and I always do this oniric work. So when I learned that willow was the oniric tree, it was like, oh yes, yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
What was the hardest piece to make? The most difficult one?
The willow.
The willow was the
Yeah,
most difficult.
it was crazy hours.
What, like because of the complexity of the piece, or because also?
Well, certainly when you add more humans into a piece, you know it's gonna be longer. But also working with blues is particularly hard in oil painting because they are so transparent.
Yeah.
So for getting big, deep blues, you have to get a lot of layering. But at the end, all of these lines the piece has, they weren't thought of in the beginning. I didn't put them in the sketch. But when I was finishing the tree, I was like, what if I play with the ultramarine and then I make these lines?
Yeah.
So it also helps like the falling of the leaves, like the willow has this very falling feeling. So it was great, but like it was in the end, I had to make them respecting all the detail. So it was crazy. I was like, okay, don't touch. So certainly the willow.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think it's because the willow is your favorite and you wanted to put a little bit more effort in that one?
I thought it played back at me. Like, okay, you go. Okay, I will do it.
What do you like the phases of the moon? Is there a connection with the moon and the willow, or is that just kind of just another added layer you wanted to add to the painting?
Well, yes, because it is this intuitive tree. That's why it's the poetry tree. It is so related with the moon. It's also the feminine energy one, and it's always related with the moon. So what we are seeing is the reflection, and actually, if you see the top base, it doesn't have a moon because it's when there is no moon. So it's also honoring the empty space. It is transforming into a key. So it's like also thinking of the importance of the void, like it's alive. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm curious about, can you tell us a bit more about the color choices? Because they're very bold, and I know that some are not easy to work with, some of those colors.
Well, actually, In technical terms, in this collection I found way more, I don't know, knowledge of how to work with oil. I work by this layering technique called resale. So you paint all of the image first in black and whites and then you color. Because the oil is so transparent, normally the light can go through the first color layering and it allows you to see what is behind. So if you want really deep shadows and lights, you want them to be layered up from the beginning. Normally I did the layering in black and white. It's called resale. It's the regular technique. And in this one, I tried coloring the resale, and it was amazing. It was like the best discovery of the collection because what is vibrating, it's another color. So from optics, you are creating colors that you couldn't create by mixing them up. You have to mix them up in layering. So if you observe, I think particularly in the altar, it's noticeable. The griselle of the woman it's purple. So if you watch through the greens, you can see the purple coming back. I don't know, it's very technical.
From the greens?
Yeah, in the green it's pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
It's
from the club.
in the clips.
Yeah.
It's very geek, but yeah.
Oh.
Could you talk about the drawings? Because they are so detailed and so carefully done to gather all your small marks makes such a more powerful result. So what is the whole process around that?
Well, I've been drawing now for 15 years, so it has been quite a journey. Like 10 years ago, a teacher told me that if I wanted to level up, I could use ballpoint pen because you can't erase. So you have to either get it the way you want it or you're gonna start again. And for me, it was like, okay, let's do it.
Challenge accepted.
I did. Exactly. So I did, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years of ballpoint pen. And with this collection, I returned to graphite. So it was quite an adventure. It was like, oh wow, yeah, like he was right. It was like making exercise with, the 4 liners.
What is it?
Ankle weights. It was like doing ankle weights and then returning to the other, and it was like, so it was kind of special, particularly in the relationship with the whites, to think them and to be able to return to them. Also in ballpoint pen, you can add. I did this mixed media technique where I added watercolor. So in ballpoint pen, you can do it at any point and it doesn't matter. It doesn't mix, the result is good. But with the graphite, it's not good. It gets messy and I don't like it. So these ones, the hard part was to think of the color. I needed clarity of where the color was, where was the color accents, and then building up all of the graphite. Mm-hmm.
So you did the color first, the watercolor first, and then on top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of planning in that kind of way. And also I felt that normally I do drawing with white backgrounds. And another teacher told me the difference between painting and drawing is in painting you have to think of the figure and background connection. And in drawing you don't. So for me it was also like a challenge, okay, let's do drawing from that point of view, thinking figure with background. So that's a lot of the white thinking, all the ornaments, and I liked that. It's the first time I did that, and it was quite interesting.
It was interesting, the other day someone thought that didn't realize that they were real. She thought they were printed because they look so amazing that she thought they couldn't possibly be real graphite pieces. So it was interesting. I was like, no, these are actually real. They're real. Yeah, she was like, what?
And we were like,
what do you mean? Why would they not? But it was, but because but because they're so amazing, right? That she was like, "What?" You know, it was really interesting to see that. I was like, "Are they real?" And we were like, "What?" It was funny. What a fun moment.
This is a random question, but how many pencils did you use?
I don't know the pencils. I did counted the hours for the show, and we are seeing more than 500 hours of work between the oils and the drawings.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask if, in working with the models, did you have an intention asking them something around the tree? How was that part of the early process of the pieces?
What I like to do with models is tell them a little about my idea, but not something so fixed, because normally they are creative beings as well, so we normally interact. And I would tell them like which tree and all of this. Some of them connected more than others. For example, Tatiana, it's her, La Bruja Roja. She felt super connected. She even told me like the first piece we did was the raven ones. And when I told her about the ravens, she told me like, oh yes, I lived in Canada and I was around a lot of ravens, and I was like, oh wow. so she, I don't know, she deeply connected with the collection, and her references were great. Like when I started reviewing the pictures, I was like, oh my god, of course. So they are also a very active part of the work. That's why they are also acknowledged in the paper. You can see their work and you can see their Instagrams. They are like interesting people to follow.
Any other question, comment?
Is this the first time you've been to Portland, or have you been here before?
First time. Loved it. It's so amazing. Yeah. First time actually in the East Coast too. Yeah. Loved it.
I have a question about the objects that are on the pedestals. If that
Okay.
is yours.
That's me. What is the
Because
question?
it's brilliant. I mean, I
Oh,
love
thank you.
the juxtaposition of it with the artwork.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, that's what I was saying earlier. I really like when there is art like Renata's, where there's a lot of symbolism. It really gives me, as a curator, an extra motivation, right? So, you know, and I felt that these pieces are so profound and there's so much in them that I felt I really wanted to create like a little altars for each of them, a little to honor them. And then when I saw the piece down there with the teapot and I look at it, I was like, I can't believe this. I have that teapot at home. So when I saw the piece, I could not, because that was a gift from my best friends in Australia, like 25 years ago. And so when I saw the piece, I was like, whoa, yeah, no, I definitely need to put my teapot in front of it because this is crazy. Like, how can it be? And then I decided, no, I really want to have offering for each of them. And so I thought about what to put. And so, for example, the willow, because, you know, like it's curated like a fan, right? You know, they're like the two row one in the middle, and then they're, you know, they're kind of mirroring each other, right? And so if you go, it opens up and it's mirror in front of each other. And then, and so when I kind of started thinking about the offerings, some of them were really super easy because I was like, I have the teapot. And then like, for instance, in Betula over there, like, you know, I immediately thought about that brass because it's at my house. And then, you know, of course, you know, like she told me that, Renata told me that she really likes willow, and I have several willows in my property, and some of which are actually curly willows. And so it kind of went from there, you know, it's just like his curation is a strange beast, you know, you gain the flow, and, you know, I was telling her, don't worry about it, it's gonna happen, you know. And then I just decided to reference, you know, there could have been many other things instead of those, like, for example, you know, the heart one is a little bit of a strange stretch, but it's a little bit, you know, when you say apple of my heart, you know, when you really love someone, you know, in Italy at least, we reference it that way. And so, yeah, I could have put an actual anatomical art, which I do have, but I decided, yes, but I decided to instead to sort of make it more a different, kind of more endearing, kind of loving, kind of, reference, maybe less traditional. And then, with the woman, the spider woman, the woman in the weaver, I don't know, I just kind of immediately thought about, I have those artichokes in my garden, and they're so beautiful when they bloom. And I thought that the color really is a color that complements the oil paintings. But the artichoke, the way is actually the geometry of the artichoke, to me, really reminded me a lot this kind of.
I just thought that was a perfect pairing.
Yeah, I just felt, as soon as I saw it, I thought immediately about, oh, my artichoke, I'm going to cut one of my artichoke. Immediately I was like, yeah, that's the artichoke, So it's a strange thing. It's like, it's like an installation becomes, but it really is also when you feel you want to honor the art. Some shows are more fun from their perspective than others. Certainly this was a good fun one. I really loved it. So, there's some of them are more kind of stretch interpretation, like the one with the raven down there, the red one with the raven. I really got a bit obsessed with the position of the berries, and so I kind of mimicked the position onto the thing of the berries, and the stone is her face. So it's kind of like
It's a creative.
just a creative activity. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. It does make sense to you as a curator, but hopefully it speaks enough, And then you were telling me that people thought it was bizarre that I had a bone, but I have a lot of bones at home. I have many bones at home, so when I saw it, she told me about the pelvis. I'm like, I know exactly what to put there. I've got a bone.
Yeah, Alexa yesterday was like, how did you get this?
Yeah, no, it's like, but I really was touched by that piece, really spoke to me. I really love pieces that have got a lot of stories around the femininity and women, and also I was telling Renata that the woman in that specific piece reminds me a lot of my family from Sardinia. There's something about her features, like Sardinia is an island in Italy that was invaded throughout the century by many different civilizations, really. And so the genetics is quite different. I would say that looks more North African mixed with Middle Eastern, like people usually think I'm, but because of the genetics. And that specific woman there reminded me some of my aunties, and so I kind of felt like it was such an interesting thing, And then, of course, like all the connection with the womb and femininity is a very powerful piece, really.
Yeah, well, Ekaterina is from Ukraine, and when she arrived to the workshop, I also told her like, we are working with these trees and everything, and I wanted to do this one with the women braiding their hair. And when I told her, she was like, oh yes, my grandmother would braid us with an intention. So there was like a specific braid for protection or a specific braid for blood. And I was like, wow, great. I am so glad that you came here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, right.
So I have to tell you that when we were talking to Renata's mom, she was the one pointing out the berries old red one back there.
Yeah.
Because she noticed right away that it was that.
Yeah, I was just like trying to make them exactly in the same.
I mean, and she said that, right, Alexa, when we were talking to her, she was like, oh, I see the,
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah, because
you got to even far from it.
Oh, good. I'm glad that we.
Yeah.
Yes, it's. I think like artists. I think like Renata, and there's certain obsessions with symbols and numbers and position of things. I really love when is thought. There is thought process about where things are on a canvas or in an artwork, and the position and the relationship between. There's something very magical about it, and yeah. So anyway.
How do you decide where to put your symbol in your pieces?
Well, it's always the last part. So that's why I started signing like that. It's a circle. So for me, I love that there is no lettering, because I think it doesn't get your attention off from the image. And it's also like this, I don't know, it helps you balance. Like sometimes it's very clear from the beginning, like this is so symmetrical that an idea of where to put it. But when the pieces are not so symmetric, I use it as a final balance of composition. Like, I think it's great here. It's also a resemblance or a tribute to Japanese art that I love. They normally sign with this red stamp, and it's normally a stamp, and it's a circle or a square. So when I saw them, I was like, yeah, I think for me it's more interesting to sign this way than lettering. Many people have questioned me about it because they say like, well, but they can look for you. Like if they saw a piece they like and there is no Britain like Renata Santamarina. No? Mm-hmm. But people in Mexico have started recognizing them, you know, like I sometimes get these pictures now like, I saw a piece of you, and they took pictures of it's called sigilo, and so it's like, okay, some people can recognize it.
And can you tell us how it's built, how you thought about that specific?
Yeah, well, I had someone taught me how to. It's a tradition. They are called sigils. So you write all of your name. You can make yours. You write all of your name. You cross out the letters that are repeating. So you get like 5 or 6 letters, and you put them in a circle. You can play with it, like make 2 or 3 circles. And there's one that feels like you, so it's supposedly to be you in a symbol. Mm-hmm.
That is very cool. And I think you've got a special.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but maybe first, maybe we say thank you. Yes. Thank you. And I know that you have a special. Renata has a special thing.
Well, I wrote the O1 code for the letters, so if any one of you wants your name in O1, I can gladly give you your name in O1. Yeah.
Oh.